We're going, folks. Yes, and welcome to Vasily's rain hour. I was going to call it weather forecast, weather prediction, weather malakas. The big malakas, by the way, the last of them. Have a look at this. We've got some big malakas here, and these are our Italian ones. The only ones that we sowed, look, we didn't get them all germinating. Well, they're still coming up, actually. There's still a little one here and there spotting out. Not a lot of them. It's been nice and warm in here. We're holding about 23.4 degrees in the soil. I've had the door closed in here, the hothouse. So that's 23.4. Meanwhile, out here it is 11.7. Welcome to springtime, folks. Exactly what we wanted, right? I'm not going to whinge because if I start, I'm not going to be able to stop. And you know what's going to happen? This. You know what? I'm so this weather, but I'm not going to whinge about it. I'm going to behave. Hey, Vader, let's entertain him. Hey, let's not do gardening today. Let's entertain him. Come on, come on. Get down, down, down. Good boy, down. You want to roll over and wet the grass? I mean, in the wet grass? I speak like a Greek. Meanwhile, Kara's guarding. Oh, she was. She heard her name and she's come straight here. This is how we pat them, folks, all right? So you want to see how I look after my dogs? This is how we do it, right? This is it. Every bloody night I do this. And at the moment, they're not moving around because they're enjoying it. If they want a bloody scratch, oh, okay, Kara, you sit down and relax there. What are you doing, Vader? All right? Now watch what happens. If I start patting her, watch, 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 watch. Hey, what's happening? What's happening? Come here, you jealous thing. All right. So don't you get jealous. Hey, come on, get her. Get her. You want to see Kara go? Get him. Get him. Get him. Watch how he does his 360s. All right, we're doing a dog hour now, folks, so enjoy this. Come here. Get him. Get him. Oh. Ready? Set. See how he spins around? Get him. Oh. Well, there you go, folks. Bit of dog entertainment, you know, bit of mucking around there, only because the weather is and everyone loves dogs. And if you don't, what type of person are you? This is my castle, and this is my field of spuds there, because we're in Ireland, and we've got our moat. We've built a moat around here so nobody can cross. No snail can enter the property, no slug, no creature, no crawly creature, except for Vasily. I'm going to kill myself here because this is slippery. All right, 1, 2, 3. Ugh. We're in. Come into my castle. You don't want to come in? All right, I've got my tomatoes here. You want to see them? If you don't want to see them, well, you're going to have to come in here. Get in here. This is the big malaka from Marianthe. Now, I don't know what's eating it because I haven't been out here in the rain to watch it. I dare say it's snails, but I can't see a snail in there. What I have found is snails in here earlier on. I did come in here, and they were literally under the beams here, getting away from the rain. I grabbed a handful of them and just threw them over there to the sheep where the chickens are. They were just sort of foraging around in the paddock. But anyway, the snails are not in there at the moment. Something's eating it, but I'm not too concerned. These are my 2 malakas. Now, and these are Vader's footprints. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over there. Just lovely. That's what we want him to do, destroy the garden. What we're doing with these, we're going to fill them up with soil later on, but we're going to remove the bottom leaves, so I'm not too concerned about that. Have a look at the difference of these, and maybe scroll back to the video yesterday we did, and have a look at the tomato at the front of the garden centre and the other tomato plants in the grow pots inside the garden centre with the grow stick. They're both, well, they're all growing in our planting mix. So we're using the same planting mix. Difference is the microclimate. And I'm sort of beating it to death at the moment about the microclimate because the main climate ain't behaving itself, is it? So the difference in the microclimate has caused these tomatoes to perform differently as well. A lot colder out here by comparison to Coburg and those two areas. So these are still nice and green, regardless of the amount of rain they've had. Look, it's boggy as out here. This is not as boggy as the lawn areas around the property. I'm over the lawns. We can't even mow them. We walk in them and we sink about 2 or 3 inches. This is starting to discolour. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that, whether I liquid feed it. You can't liquid feed it when it's already wet. Dry feed it, put a handful of superfood around the top, maybe that'll help it. Well, as long as the rain, I don't even talk about it. Come over here. Anyway, over here, planted a capsicum here, a little chili or capsicum, it's a sweet capsicum, what am I saying? One over here at the moment, so I've been pulling out my green curled endives. We spoke about this on the weekend on radio. These are delicious, folks. I actually love these. These are beautiful to saute with a little bit of oil, vinegar, not vinegar, lemon and salt and oil and vinegar. And you can see what the weather's done to me, eh? It's just depressed the shit out of me. Anyway, over here, folks, I had the netting, the wildlife friendly bird netting with the 6-way connectors and the cane framework. Well, I had to pull it down. I needed to get in here and start weeding it because the weeds were taking over. And here, what I've got growing, just so you know, it's going to seed. This one hasn't done that well. It's a bit small. This is elephant garlic. This one here as well is coming on. So I'm going to keep this one for seed. So hopefully next year's crop is going to be a lot better. And all this silver beet's got to come out because it's gone to flower. I don't want it to grow any taller. So this is all coming out this edge there. And I'm going to plant something else. In the far corner, I planted a little capsicum. Look, I'm dotting the place around with a little bit here and there. And all the kale and all that got eaten before I put the netting on there. So remember, if you when we first planted this, we didn't have the netting on it. And it got destroyed. So now they're coming good, but that's fine. And over here, you can swing come over here. What are you looking at? What's over there? Hey, what's there? Go. Yeah, Vedic has picked up the smell. They're hunting rabbits. So in this bed here, garlic. A lot of you on the weekend came into the store to tell me about your problems with garlic when I did that little segment about rotting away, pull away the mulch and all things like that. You can see the streak marks now developing on the leaves. I can't do anything about it. You can't, really difficult to do anything. You can sit there and cut it all off, but you don't want to cut it down to the stalk. You can remove some of the top leaves or the more severely infected leaves. And I'm talking about rust here, folks. That's what's going to hit them. And if it was warm enough, I guarantee you it would have been full of aphids. Some of you with a microclimate that's a lot warmer than mine will probably already have that. So thin out your garlic. I had chicory growing in the middle of it. This stuff here. Just as I spoke about the green curled endives, these are just as delicious, if not even more delicious, and very highly nutritious too. So a lot of great nutrients that come out of this, great for your blood cleansing, great for your gut bio and things like that. They were growing in between, naturally on their own sown, in between my garlic. So I took them out so I can get the airflow, because the next thing that would happen is them rusting out. I've also planted my first cucumbers. These are the burpless cucumbers. 1, 2, and over here 3, and down over here 4. I'm going to get these to climb on this framework here, and I dare say if this weather doesn't behave, because this is right in the middle of the garden bed or the garden area, so I'll probably get I think it's about 10 o'clock, 10:30 when the sun shines up, but it does stapple through there, and then I don't know what time it settles. What time is it now? I don't know what time it is anymore, because it's always bloody cloudy and I can't see where the sun is anymore. So, but my garden seems to be pretty healthy. It's holding, well, I like to think it is. Considering all things that's going on. Well, let me show you the worst part. Well, the worst, well, yeah, the worst part. The part that's worse. That's even worse than that. This, look at this. Rust on the broad beans starting to form here. Now, you're probably looking at him saying, geez, he's done him pretty flat on there. That's right. Because we had some gusty winds yesterday, last night and this morning, and I'm telling you, they were just almost collapsing. So I just took out the tape gun and I taped it. I didn't screw it. I was going to say I screwed it tight onto the wire frame. You can see the tape over here. I've just taped that on here. You know, I'm not going to expect this to be superb this year because of all the wind and damage it's caused on them and that rust that's developing. So you can remove all that, thin it out, clean it up. But look what happened. So where they did collapse, the broad beans, the canes that is, squashed all my garlic down here on this side. So all this got pushed over and it's just starting to thicken up. So what's the point? I can sit here and stake it up. I'm not going to bother. It's still getting the sun, it'll be fine. And let's go to the last bed. And this is the most recent bed that I've done, or the raised bed, and it's already sunken because I didn't compact the soil as I laid it. We've got straw underneath here, and we've got our compost and planting mix on top of there. And we had volunteers, or the cos lettuce, or chicory, I think it's cos actually. These ones here were all dug out of another section of the garden. I put a bit of flour in here too. A couple of tomatoes from our plugs that we have, plug and plant. And this is George's big tomato. Now I've taken the sleeve off it because it was warm. It was actually nice and warm a few days ago. And now it's gone cold again, but they're holding on. You know, I'm not going to worry about it. And I stuck in some baby carrots all the way around. Look at this. How crazy. A little bit of artistic flair there. Yeah, whatever. I've stuck the carrots in there. Let's see how they go. They're about that big already because they came in a punnet. I didn't sow them. I just separated them, and they're holding ground. Yeah, they're doing well. And the bok choy and the pak choy and the wombok and the choy sum and all that Asian greens, well, they're starting to take over. I hope your garden is not drowning, folks, because if it is, we're going to have to do something about this. We can't go on like this. We can't keep, you know, walking out in the garden, it starts raining, going back inside, or complaining that it's always wet. Raise your beds. I mean, these beds are raised, and all jokes aside, they are super wet, but they are, you know, draining away. They're not pooling up with water. That's the main thing about it. But if your plants are starting to discolour, that's a big concern, because that means your soil, life in your soil, the nutrients in your soil is depleted. It's been washed out. Maybe it was pretty low to start with, and with all this excess rain, it's just washing it out. So monitor that carefully, because if your plants are starting to starve and look a little bit yellow, like that first tomato I mentioned there, that's Marianthus, big Malacca, a little bit of yellowing, a little bit of a light green colour going on. It's not quite yellow, but it's light green. They're the first signs, and if you see that happening, get onto it. Don't liquid feed them because it's already wet. You need to put a dry mix in there. It's not going to work straight away. That's the truth of it all, but it will kick in. It'll give the plant a chance to start greening up as it grows. But if you do nothing, expect no results at the end. You know, very poor results. So feed your garden, because I guarantee you most of them will be needing another feed after these rains go away. They're predicting by the end of November or something like that. Well, let's see if that happens. In the meantime, let's not worry about it too much. Let's make effort to change what we're doing and increase our feeding regime and raise our beds as we need to. Cup day today. Good luck to them. But if you're not going to go to the Cup and you're not betting on them, or even if you are betting on them, folks, we are open at the Garden Centre in Coburg. We've actually had a lot of people asking if we're going to be open. Normally closed on Monday, Tuesdays, but today it is open. So if you're just watching this, as we've uploaded it, you can pop down to the Garden Centre, if you're in Melbourne that is, and get yourself some seedlings, because it is Cup Day, Melbourne Cup Day, planting day. That's what a lot of people practice their planting times with. So get down to the store, up to 15% off all the seedlings, and up to 70% off. We've extended it for one more day, the online sales and in store. So click and collect available at vasili'sgarden.com, and the store in Coburg, 21 to 25 Munro Street, is open today for you to enjoy. Get your seedlings, have a bet, hope you win, and I hope you get a wonderful spring crop going on too. From me, Vasili, Maresi.